By Money Block, this is where we marry technical analysis of looking at charts in its purest form and then doing some option analysis to give you some forecast of where the options are thinking that the stock could trade. And we want to look at a sector and segment of the market that I think is going to be very sensitive to the upcoming policies, both from the Fed here in the States as well as the policies of the Trump administration. And we're going to be watching the economic data, especially since we saw the jobs data come in. It was mixed at best. Still better than, seeing unemployment go up and no job growth. But the point being is that we want to look at a segment of the market that I think is going to be getting some more potential volatility going into the next month or so as we get into earnings. And so I want to look at the regional bank index. And the reason why I want to is because we're going to start kicking off earnings season for some regional banks. And so let's take a look at the ETF because I want to get an idea of what's been going on in this sector for the last couple of months. And you can see that it's been in a very straight consolidation, but it broke in the last 3 weeks, beginning of March or middle of March. It just broke down through its 20 and 50-day moving average. So that battleground right here that I discussed, it broke down, and now the bulls in the regional banking segment are under pressure. They're trying to get over that 50-day and that 20-day moving average, but they have not had much push. So there's that battle right now is to get above these levels, basically in the $54 to $55 level in the index. So it's basically trending down. We would say that it's slightly bearish at this juncture. Now, with that being said, I have a pulse of what's going on in the marketplace. Now, there is, by the way, the KRE right now is trading with an IV rank, an implied volatility rank of 34. So it's still on the lower third of the scale of 0 to 100. What does that mean for those of you that don't use implied volatility but will now as some sort of gauge or anticipation of movement? Well, when you see that implied volatility is anywhere between 0 and around 30 or 40, that's telling you that there's not an enormous amount of expectation of big, violent moves. But once it gets up at or above 50, that's where you start to see the potential for some violent moves. Now, we're going to get into earnings season, so that volatility rank could increase, especially if we get more uncertainty in the market or we get geopolitical concerns. Hey, there's conflict in the Middle East that's now heating up. You also have concerns about maybe policies not getting moved forward. You have a Fed that is extremely volatile. It's most volatile that I've ever seen the Fed in a long time, if ever in my lifetime. So right now the options in KRE, which is the index or the ETF that tracks regional banks, they're expecting a range next week of 93 cents in this $53 stock. That basically means that you're looking at right around about a 3% move being priced in at this juncture for the index, about almost 4% for the ETF. So with that being said, let's take a look at the stock that's actually having earnings. So now they have a binary event. We see that the sector's been under pressure. Let's see how Bank of the Ozarks. This is the stock that's going to be having earnings on Monday. Stock's trading down 47 cents today, and you can see that it basically has mirrored the ETF that monitors or is a culmination of all these different regional banks. It basically broke down almost to the date. This was on the 21st. This is when the ETF broke down, and you can see that it's tried to retrace, and the bulls have tried with some conviction to break through what is resistance, but they haven't been able to. So with that being said, we can see that this stock is slightly bearish to neutral, but I'd say more slightly bearish with this current trend to the downside. You see support at right around 45. You see resistance basically at the 52 level. And the options are pricing in for the next 14 days a $1.93 range. Now the IV rank is at 45.4. That means that there is a heightened sense of potential violent moves, but that makes sense. We have a binary event like earnings. Now, some of you might ask, well, how did I come up with this estimated range? All I did was look at the closest expiration cycle. That happens to be the monthly options that expire on April 21st, right here. I looked at where the stock was trading. It's trading at $49.80. So I look at the closest strike options. That's the at-the-money options. That would be the $50 strike. So then I look at the calls and the puts, and I add the offers up. So 130 and 170. So basically that's $3. Then I look at the next strike out of the money put, which is being offered at 50 cents, and the next strike out of the money call, which is being offered at 45 cents, so that's 95. So basically, you're looking at this at $3.95. You divide that by 2, which is roughly right now $1.93, $1.95, right? That's how I'm getting that estimated move with a 50% probability of it moving within that range, either up or down. So that's basically pricing in this $50 to $49 stock, almost $50 stock. It's pricing in a 5% move potentially going into earnings. Now you can look at the strategic approach that you want to take, whether you're bullish, bearish. The market, though, has been telling you that this sector and this stock specifically has been moving in a downtrend, but it's not like it's dropping totally out of bed. It's trading right at what you would consider a logical support level. But the next long-term support level is down here at the 200-day moving average at 45.12. The market's pricing in the potential for it to go down to right about here, 47.5, right? Almost $2. So it's with 49, it's around 47.80. So the bottom line is that now you have better transparency into not only what the sector ETF is doing, so what this general regional bank sector has been doing, which has been trending down ever so slightly, but trying to retrace and take back the upside. But you see what this stock is actually been doing, and it's been mirroring that current trend in that sector ETF. But also, you have a better idea of what the potential move is going into earnings on Monday. So now you can strategize over the weekend about this sector and potentially about Bank of the Ozarks, knowing what I just showed you as far as what's been going on with the stock, both from the chart, the picture, see where support and resistance is from the moving averages, the 20, 50, and 200-day. You know what the implied volatility rank is, which is almost at 50, so there's a heightened expectation of big violent moves. And you know that the estimated move that's being priced in for the next 14 days for Bank of the Ozarks is 193, 195. And for KRE, the regional banking ETF, it's 93 cents for that week. Folks, this has got to help, right? So this is where we're going to start. We'll be back on at 4:30 Eastern time, and we're going to be wrapping up all the action from today's and this week's pretty interesting trade. So we'll see you then here at MarketStream.live.